Time to get funked up, baby, in TP Corleone's Funk Zone. Funky music, entertainment, media, and more. Where all things are funky. Can you dig it now?
What's good, party people? What's good? Once again, you in TP's Funk Zone. This is TP Corleone. Got a nice new guest today, you dig. A very, very talented, multifaceted guy, you dig. From the East Coast, from Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken, you dig. Producer, singer, writer, all that, you dig. Mr. Biblical Jones, not to be confused with Mike Jones, you dig. What's up, Biblical?
What's going on, baby boy? How you feeling?
Good, man, good. Thanks for spending time in the Funk Zone for a minute. I know you're so busy, dropping them tracks and everything, I really appreciate that. Yeah.
We look out for each other, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you show me love, you know what I'm saying? I show you love, and that's how we work together, bro, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's the game. That's how the game's supposed to work. Some people don't understand that. I'm glad you do. That's what keep us both rising. Dig? That's what keep us both rising. Cream rises to the top. That's what they say. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna get into it mainly. One of the things I've always been curious about, because you have a voice. If people don't know, many may not know, but you have a voice, man. It transcends a lot of genres to me. You know what I'm saying? I know you record house music. That's why I know you as a house music artist. But when I hear that voice, man, I think of like Teddy Pendergrass. You know what I'm saying? I think of Colonel Abrams. You dig what I'm saying? People like that. I mean, do you record any music other than house, or were you just did you get into this game doing house music specific?
No, as a matter of fact, when I started doing music, I was with an R&B hip hop group, basically called Project One.
Okay.
It was back in the day, basically in the early '90s. It was four of us, basically. I was one of the male lead singers, and we got offered a record deal, basically by Motown. And then later on down the line, I got offered a record deal to do some R&B and hip hop stuff, basically by Bad Boy. The funny part about it is basically with Motown, we were so young in the game that when we went up to see, I think the guy's name was Matt Hughes at the time. We went to see him, played the actual demo. He said, "All right, I like it, man." He said, "I'm gonna sign you. What do you want?" And we said, we want a record deal, right? He said, "All right, I'm gonna give you a record deal, but what type of record deal do you want?" We looked at each other. He was like,
"Okay,
we want a good record deal, right?"
y'all didn't know nothing, man. Y'all didn't know nothing, man.
No, so we messed around basically, and dude was really trying to look out for us. He said, "Look," he said, "I can sign you right now and lock you up basically into just one of these contracts." He said, "But I want you to go back and get legal representation, tell them that you got a record deal for Motown Records that needs to be negotiated." So we actually, he didn't give us the record deal. He said he was going to prepare it basically after he talked to our counsel. But by the time we actually got counsel, which was probably about maybe like 3 to 4 weeks later, because we had to negotiate that contract because we didn't have no money at the time. So he was looking at back end work. By the time we got back there, basically, the council had set up basically actual meeting with Motown, but Matt Jones was no longer there, and I forgot the name of the new guy. I think the new guy's name was Scott something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Played the same songs and everything. He's like, "Yeah, it's cool." He said, "But it's not cool enough. I don't think I'm gonna sign it." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" So it's like, they pulled the rug from right underneath us, in reference to that. So after getting over that depression, basically, blaming each other, basically.
But can I stop you for a second? Though I hate to interrupt you, but you're saying a lot. I don't want to brush over and gloss over some important points you put out right there. First of all, how many people had a chance to even sit down with Motown early in their career, man? That was a heavy situation right there. I mean, that was a very big moment for y'all. You know what I mean? And it just slipped through y'all hands, man. Y'all were kids, basically. Y'all don't know what y'all were doing, you know what I'm saying? That's wild, man. I'm sorry, I just wanted to accentuate on that, man. I just wanted to put some light on that. Motown, early in the game, y'all sitting down with Motown already. I'm sorry, continue, brother, continue.
No, you're absolutely right, basically. But there's a quote that I love this quote, basically, and it says, there's a lot of dumb millionaires, basically, out there because they were too stupid to realize that they were supposed to fail. So we were in that crew, you know what I mean? Because of course, we knew about Motown, but it wasn't basic. It's like we didn't have an art. We just was sending stuff out, and we was relentless with what we were doing. You know, and when you're relentless and you keep doing it, you're going to end up getting some type of progress, some type of way. And we just lucked up and got that progress, you know. But things didn't work out that way. Basically, a couple years down the line, basically, I got offered something from Bad Boy, and they sent me with a 55-page contract, right? And I knew I was in there, and basically took it over to my lawyers, basically at Overkill, Grimes and Stryker, which is a big entertainment firm in Baltimore, and they said, you got to take this back. He said, we can take it back, or you can just take it back and tell me to give you something better, just to change this first paragraph. The first paragraph said, notwithstanding anything to the contrary. So he broke it down to me and he said, that one particular sentence in that paragraph means no matter what happens after that, this whole contract will not withstand anything to the contrary. They can say, we can give you $1 million, but they said we changed our mind because the contract says we can't.
Slick as hell,
you know
man. Whoa.
It's crazy. So when it was all said and done, basically we took it back up there and was like, yo, for real? Lawyer said, we can't even deal with this until you turn this first page, right? I forgot the guy that we were dealing with at the time. He said, oh, okay, y'all got some sense about yourselves and everything, right? He said, all right, well, let us see what we can do. We'll get back in contact with you. So never got back in contact with us. We called him, not taking phone calls, and that's the industry. If the industry can't rape and pillage you at certain times, basically, they don't deal with you. You know what I mean? But
preach.
As time goes on, because of where we are now, you don't need that particular resource as a vehicle to get your stuff out there. And I'm pretty sure you know, TP, the whole game has changed. You know, there are no mechanical rights for units being sold now because everything is streaming. So, you know, we as artists, we gotta reinvent ourselves, you know, and do a lot of things basically to make sure that when one door closes, there's always going to be another door that opens. And if there is not another door that's opening, then you have to find a way how to create that opening yourself.
Yes, and it also was education. So that situation right there was a learning experience, you know, believe it or not, you know what I mean? Just by the mere fact that you slightly weren't prepared on the Motown situation and then with Bad Boy, I mean, if that cat didn't point out to you that one specific clause on that contract, y'all would have been another case on unsung, whatever. I could have made it, I could have almost made it, but I was famous, but I'm broke. And nothing worse than being famous and broke, man. You know what I'm saying? Right, you know.
Things that happen to you are the best things that never happen to you. You know, we used to hang with some of the big dogs, basically, you know, back in the day. If we were dealing with Suge Knight's, one of his right-hand men, basically, that went to school with P. Diddy at the time.
Damn.
Stuff was actually happening with that whole East Coast, West Coast stuff, and that's when Suge was going to jail. So, but I mean, it's probably a good thing we didn't get signed.
Amen, bro. Y'all again.
But we were on Video Soul, basically. We had made our first video called Let Me Dry Your Eyes. Basically, it was #1, basically, for a couple of weeks in the DMV. The big radio station back in the day was called B103. And the big guy, basically, which I'm not going to put his name out there right now because I'm about to tell you, basically, is saying, hey, we got something here. We got to come in. We got to talk. So he said, you guys are doing #1. You have to high five at 8, basically, for a couple of weeks now. What do you want to do? And I'm like, what do you want to do? He said, hey, look, in order for us to keep doing this, you know, you got to come and hustle with us. And I was like, well, what's hustling? He was like, yo, that's $22,000 a month.
Boom. Wait, the radio station? The radio
Yes,
station?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
22 G's a month. You know what I'm saying?
Sir. So, you know.
Damn. I guess that explains why a lot of real hustlers be in this game, because you gotta have that stack, man. You gotta have that stack ready to. Whoa.
So basically all that stuff about, oh no, this is all the strength of what, no. It's all business. It's all business. Don't let nobody tell you basically whether it's in front of your face or behind those closed doors, there's business happening. So,
yes, you make me think of back in those days, there was, I'm not gonna mention the record label, but there was a very big hip hop independent record label at that time, you know, that became big. And it was rumored that they were, the CEO of that label were buying the #1 spots. They were buying like 100 or 200,000 copies of their new releases every time they dropped their release, and that's why it was #1 on Billboard's rap chart every week. I don't know if you know who that is or heard the rumors and anything like that, but that was happening back then too. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to have that bread to even chart sometimes. That's wild, ain't it? That's some wild shit.
It is. And why you got some people realistic, and not taking away from anybody's artistry, but you got some people that was in that game, and you're like, oh my God, how they get played? But when they get played, you start liking their song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all said and done. It's still the industry before talent. You know. So.
Yeah, that's what it is. Business. What they say, 10% talent, 90% business. You know, that's what they say.
But that's the reason why I moved over to house music. House music just seemed like it was more organic at the time. So by being organic and by it being underground, you got that love and appreciation basically without that big deal. But you were still able to move and shake and make a little bit of money basically through your live performances or what have you, basically. And that's how everything basically switched over with me, you know. So
yeah, I could definitely relate to that because me being from Chicago, you know, I've witnessed like the early days of house being born, from the clubs and the you know, the DJs and the tracks. Did what I'm saying. And I saw like for instance, I would say the Hot Mix 5 DJs that were on a major station back then, WBMX. I saw DJs just premiere their tracks right on mainstream radio, you know what I'm saying? But they were done, but it was from the underground. It was still from the underground first, you know what I'm saying? Because they were spitting in the streets, whatever. And like you said, it was more organic at the same time, because the kids in the clubs were loving this music in the clubs and in the street before it got mainstream. And was there a similar thing going on in Baltimore as far as the house scene is concerned? I mean, how's the house scene in Baltimore where you from? You know what I'm saying?
House music was strong in Baltimore, and I came from R&B roots, and I stumbled into this club called Fantasies one night, and street, and oh my gosh, I'm like, what is this? You know, and it's like, you know, and you saw things and you felt the vibe that was not hostile, you know. Most of the time in your hip hop, it's all about, you know, the vibrato basically and who's bad. And no, this was all love. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you had everybody that was just like, what's up? What's up? Everything was good, and it was a beautiful thing. And it was like, it vibed with me so much. I'm like, dude, I gotta see what this is all about. So I started coming basically because at that time, that was one of the first after hours spots that was legit. You know, you could go to your club, and then after the club closed around about 2:30, that's when Club Fantasies started actually kicking. So it's like, okay, this is what's up. So I learned a lot. Basically, came down to the spirit of house, basically from Fantasies and another club called Club Paradox that took over after Fantasies.
Okay, that's what's up, man. I wish I could, you know, I hear these stories about how it manifested in other areas, like where you from, even like New York, whatever, their version of it. I wish I could just experience all of those. I haven't, you know what I'm saying? But wish I could have experienced that, you know. So, like, as far as you recording house music, I know you like it and everything. Was the transition hard, or was it just a natural thing to do, to transition from R&B to house?
It was a natural transition, you know. To me, studio is studio, basically, and good music is good music. You know
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You're an artist, you know what I'm saying? You vibe into it, basically, and it's so funny because, you know, there's an irony in everything. So that's back in the day when me and Ben basically was building on some things, and you know, he's like, all right, well, come on, get together, basically, you know what I'm saying, do this track, you know, and we were just messing around and been drinking a little bit and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The next thing you know, we come up with this song called "I've Been Blessed." I've been blessed, right? And it's so funny. And you know, a lot of people was like, you know, why you say yes so much? Because I couldn't think of anything else because I was a little bit inebriated, you know. And but then DJ Scratch got his hands on it, and he took that song to another level. And at that particular time, basically, there was gospel house, but there was no tribal gospel house. To have a gospel house song that was nothing but drums, you know, shouts out to DJ Scratch, man.
Wow, that's heavy. You got to put me up on that joint right there, man. You know what I'm saying? So a gospel house cut with just tribal drums, boom, 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 like that. You know what I'm saying? Banging hard, huh? Oh, wow. I'm sorry that I ain't heard that. I'm sorry they haven't heard that one. You know what I'm saying? You know, one of my favorite joints by you was speaking of blessed is I don't know if you would call this a gospel house song. To me, it's like multi-genre because of the title and the track, you know, like So Happy, So Blessed on DJ Renee's label. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Brooklyn Beat. Now, that's one of my favorites with you. You know, you and the young lady. Yeah, that's that right there, man. How did that track come about? You know what I mean? I'm just curious.
Okay. Well, actually, my man DJ Dell, basically, you know, from Baltimore, and he's like biblical. He said, "Yo, I got this track. Yo, I got this track. I need to do it." And Dell was just constantly on me. I'm like, "All right, Dell, I get you. You know, but when you're doing so much,
yeah."
And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, I ain't get a chance to sit it back again." So I finally got a chance to sit down and listen to it. I'm like, "Oh, this track is hot." You know. I think at the time, basically, if I wasn't talking to Donna Marie, basically, is the lady that did the So Happy, So Blessed. If I was talking to her on the phone, I think we was together or whatever. And I'm like, yo, we can build on this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At that time, Donna was talking about a song. She's like, I want to deal with a song basically called I'm So Happy, I'm So Blessed, right? And she gave me the chorus. I'm like, okay. So basically, I put her chorus basically with that music, and then we came up with some lyrics and gave it to DJ Renee, and DJ Renee was like, okay, that's hot. Let's see what we can do. And it was history, man. You know what I mean? So, and that's the thing about it. That's one of my favorites, simply because not just the music is tight, basically, but the lyrics, you know. Not everybody can write a song, you know what I mean? Especially when you're writing a song that relates to so many people. When he said, let me tell you something, you don't know what I've been going through. You know what I'm saying? But everybody, because you're trying to put on that face. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, it's a beautiful song. You know, shouts out to Donna Marie, shouts out to DJ Renee and Brooklyn Beatdown for us coming together and making that happen.
That's what's up, man. I noticed your past few joints of yours that have been released were with Brooklyn Beatdown. Y'all work pretty good together, man. You know what I'm saying? I like seeing that, man. Y'all just been dropping them bangers back to back. You know what I mean?
Yo, make no mistake about it, man. DJ Renee is a hustler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How to grind, and she's relentless, basically, with her hustle. And it's to the point that you got a lot of people that when you see how she's doing her thing, it's not that they hate on her because of what she's doing. They hate on her because they don't have that type of stamina.
They scared, you know what I'm saying? I think they're scared somehow, you know. Yeah.
But it's all, I tell everybody, basically, when you coming up, man, of course, you know what I'm saying, that gravity gonna try to pull you down. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. Anybody that ever did any type of gardening know, basically, some of the best flowers that bloom basically got to come through a whole lot of fertilizer, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. What you say? Fertilizer. Come through that bullshit. You coming up through that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We keep it real. We keep it real in the funk zone. You know what I'm saying? We keep it real. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now, something else too. Speaking of now this, I ain't trying to just blow your head up just because you're on my show, but everybody I have on my show are people I like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have a team going out there looking for people to be on my show. So anybody on my show I like. And the reason I'm saying that is because speaking of like the house scene, you know, this is a scene that's really kind of supported by the people who participate in it, basically. You know, like many of the fans of this scene are like your DJs, your artists, you know what I mean, your producers. Many of those people also are the people who may buy their records or spin their records, you know. I don't think, this is just me personally speaking, I don't think this scene is really supported by like a third party buying a market like other fields like hip hop and R&B. Even though people, I'm speaking of America at least, the U.S. We know overseas a lot of times house is still mainstream in other countries, but here in America, I really believe that we need like somebody like to take that shit to the next level, like what Prince did with the Minneapolis sound. You know what I'm saying? What Snoop and Dre was to gangster rap, you know what I'm saying? Or what the Tribe Called Quest was to like their style. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? You could probably be that one. I mean, I'm putting that blessing on you right now, man. You could be that one, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got the voice, you got the hustle yourself, you know what I'm saying? Just, that's what I see in the future, you know what I'm saying? How you feel about that, about those words right there?
I really appreciate that. I always say, basically, you know, as long as you keep loving it, I'm gonna keep doing it. Because I mean, I'm an artist for real. You know, I'm not a person that's just trying to jump on the bandwagon and doing it for popularity or whatever, man. Seriously, when I get into it, I don't have to experience, you know, the song basically for me to write the song. I can look at somebody going through it basically. Like the song that me and Bianca just did that's on Brooklyn Beatdown, basically called Watch Me Work.
Yeah, I feel that one too.
We were working on another song, right? And she's talking to basically one of her DJs, DJ Motown, right? Mm-hmm. And they over here, Bianca says, yeah, well, I don't care, because that bitch don't like me anyway, right?
She said that, huh, in the conversation,
like,
huh? That bitch don't like me.
I'm like, what? She said, I said, say it again. She said, that bitch don't like me. I'm like, okay. I said, all right. I said, I need you to stay there for me basically a couple of times based on this track. And she said, okay. So what happened is, that was so strong and so passionate the way she did it in the moment. I took that one particular phrase and did all brand new music with it, basically.
Whoa!
Basically with it, and that's how that happened. You know, I mean, things just happen so organically. You know, and
you produced that track, right?
Yeah, I produced that track.
That's a producer right there. You know what I'm saying? You took that at that moment, man. That's what's up. That's hot too. That right there is hot, man. You know what I'm saying? That's another genre transcending cut. I could see that with like, the Vogue market, you know what I'm saying? The Vogue community. I see that.
Got a lot of crossover appeal, basically. I noticed basically, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of young people that's up on it. Shouts out to everybody that pushed that over the top too. I think we over 200 and something thousand views for the video. That was a beautiful thing. That was most performing video that we most viewed video that we ever had. And it was fun. It was fun. Everybody can relate to that person basically that always gonna be talking behind your back, but it's all right.
Yeah. And she said that that bitch don't like me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Was she on the phone or she was on the mic or what? Who was she talking to?
He was talking to DJ Motown basically.
All right. Hell no, man.
You know, and
y'all check that video out too. That's a hot video too. Y'all check that out, man. Y'all check that out.
Shouts out to my man Johnny Jackson. He was the videographer on that as well. So you know.
Okay, great job, Johnny. You know what I mean? So what you got coming up in the near future, or is that a surprise? I don't want to spoiler alert anything.
Nah, man, we always grinding, man. Seriously, when we get through one, basically it's like the baton. You hand it off to another one. So basically, I'm getting ready actually have a release. I believe the release date is July the 16th for another Brooklyn Beatdown release, basically with me and Tara G. Actually called "Do My Motherfunkin' Thing." You know,
MuthaFunka, you be on that MuthaFunka, huh? You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I'm the Blac MuthaFunka, you know what I'm saying?
Blac MuthaFunka, that's what I'm talking about.
Black.
You a motherfucking fool, man. You a fool, man. You know what I'm saying? So, tell the people where they can get your music or check out your sites, whatever. Drop some links out there. I'm gonna post them in the video anyway, but what's your contact info if you want to drop that?
You can hit me up on Facebook, basically at Biblical Jones, basically Instagram at Biblical Jones, Twitter at Biblical Jones, basically. You can get all our digital music wherever there's digital music actually being sold, Traxsource, Apple Music, all of them that's actually out there. Spotify when you're streaming, basically. So we everywhere, so.
Okay, that's cool. Before I let you go, there's one thing I wanted to touch on too, which is another personal question I wanted to know before I let you go, going back again. So I noticed in your tracks, I have quite a few of them in rotation, of course, but you have like different genres of house, you know what I'm saying? Is that intentional, or is that just how it comes out, just organic each time, or you just go with the flow? How that happen? Because I mean, some of them soulful. You got the banging tracks, you got the chants. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how did that come about? Was that intentional?
No, I think it's intentionally organic because to me, soul music, house music to me is the closest thing to real life, and real life got so many aspects of it. So when you got so many aspects of it, I mean, you got a lot of people that say, oh, house music is always about a good feeling and everything, right? And I get that. But sometimes you ain't gonna feel good. Sometimes things gonna be a little fucked up, and you need to basically, you need to actually acknowledge that. So if the song goes in that way, you gotta have that type of music to run with that. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about being able to identify and relate to everything.
Yeah.
Everything. You know what I mean? I gotta, because I'm also a spoken word artist as well.
Okay.
And I got a spoken word piece that talks about a guy that's on death row, basically, because he shot somebody else that was trying to molest his son. You know what I'm saying? So, it's crazy, but but these are aspects of life, and we got to bring these aspects to life. And that's the thing about it, TP. As artists, we have an opportunity to share so many experiences with people that may not be able to go through those experiences, good or bad, but through the gift of music and song and production, basically, they can experience it and we can all empathize with that. So I appreciate that, because that's why, art is supposed to reflect life, and all aspects of life, So, in one of my songs, basically, I said, I don't know where I'm going, because I don't. All I know is I'm going in the right direction.
Okay.
So that's what it's all about. So I guess to answer your question, is it intentional or is it something that happens? My most logical answer is I have no idea.
All right. I call that the power of the funk. I just let the funk flow and let it happen. You know what I'm saying? That's what I call it. Just let it flow. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Wow.
All right. Well, man, thanks again, man. Look like you're ready to get down on some music right now. I see the guitar behind you, you know what I'm saying? I see that right.
I got music all over here. I got my guitar. I'm learning how to play the violin a little bit. Got the piano.
Shit. I'm scared. I said you the one. I said you that one, man. I put it out there in the universe. So I'm saying that's the one. You know what I'm saying? Well, Biblical Jones, thanks again for coming into TP Corleone's Funk Zone. Peace and blessings to the rest of your career. I know it's gonna be fabulous, man. You dig what I'm saying?
Let me just say this to you, brother. Seriously, I don't do that many interviews because I like to let people interpret my shit, but you my man, you know what I'm saying? And it's like this. You ain't one of the people to just call me up and say, yo, do this, and you ain't never liked none of my stuff. You ain't never chart none of my stuff. No. You are who you are, and that's why you will be who you are.
Oh, wow. Well, thanks, man. Big up, man. Thanks. Really appreciate that. That means a lot, man. That means a lot. We're going to keep it up, man. We're going to keep it going, man, till the wheels fall off this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's what's up. You have a good rest of the day. Peace and blessings. I'm looking forward to your new track. You know what I mean?
Salute.
Salute. All right.